Okay, this is Jacob Schmidt with DeerHuntingSchool.com. I'm going to just in this video here talk about arrow shaft spine, and what that actually has to do with is the stiffness of the arrow. It's very, very important, not only with accuracy of shooting your bow, but it can be very dangerous if you have the incorrect spine arrow for your bow. And the main thing it can be dangerous is if the spine is not stiff enough for the draw weight of your bow and the length arrow that you're actually shooting. I'm going to show you, and the reason I'm on Beeman here is because these are the type of arrows I shoot. And someone had asked me a question about this, and I made the comment, but really I think it'd be better for me just to make this video here, explaining exactly what the reason, exactly what I'm talking about, because I'll get the point across much better. So I just go to Beeman.com because that's that brand arrow I shoot. If you shoot a different brand arrow than Beeman, that's perfectly fine. There's several good arrow manufacturers out there these days that make good quality carbon arrows. These are just the ones that I happen to shoot. I shoot Beeman ICS Hunters, and them are the type of arrows I shoot that I prefer personally, but doesn't mean that they're the best arrows. So I'm not trying to push Beemans on anybody or anything like that by any means. I'm just wanting to show you how you find the manufacturer. So what you do is you go to your manufacturer's website, whatever it may be, and you look on the website somewhere. In this particular case, in Beeman, the arrow selector, the arrow shaft selector is down here at the bottom of the page. Okay, you see right here, I just highlighted a box around it. Okay, there's the arrow shaft selector, and all you do is just click on that, wherever your manufacturer is. It may be in different locations, but for Beeman it's here. So you click on that there, and then it'll take you to the actual arrow shaft selecting graph, okay, where you can actually pick out what kind of arrow you need to shoot, what spine weight and everything. This is very important, like I said, because of arrow failure. Carbon arrows can explode, and I've seen pictures of it happening, and a lot of times it happens. There are really two reasons it happens. One is that the arrow is too weak for the poundage, meaning that let's just say here I'm shooting in group A. I'm shooting this type of arrow here out of a 75-pound bow, okay, and let's just say that arrow was 30 inches long, okay. So that arrow for a 30-inch long bow, A, is supposed to be like a 27 to 31 pound, but if I was to shoot that out of an 80-pound bow or a 75-pound bow, I'm supposed to be shooting group H, which is a 300. That's the spine. That's how stiff the arrow is, the size of the spine. It has a lot to do with the stiffness of the arrow. If you were to shoot that group A, which is a 500, out of a 75-pound bow, that arrow would likely explode as soon as you hit the release the arrow. It would probably explode or break right there by your hand. And I've seen pictures of the arrow actually going into people's hand, pieces of it, and sticking plumb through their hand because of that happening. So it can be very dangerous if you don't have this right. Two, the other reason they are likely to break is if an arrow is hit by another arrow when you're shooting. If you actually hit another arrow, if that happens, you really need to check your arrows very carefully to make sure that one's not cracked or has any kind of damage done to it. If it does, it's best just to disregard the arrow, throw it in the trash, discard it, and get rid of it. It's not worth it. The hospital bill would be a lot more than, having that arrow taken out of your hand is going to be a lot more than buying a new arrow. And the pain is not going to be worth it. And you may even put you out of deer hunting, for quite a while, because of the pain. It may involve some surgery or no telling what. Could even be fatal, I would imagine, because of the arrow pieces, no telling where they're going to go. So you really just, this here, and I'm going to show you how you do it. Just like I said, just go to your arrow manufacturer and follow. It's pretty simple. I'm going to talk about my bow. I actually shoot a Hoyt Vector 32. It's a cam and a half. So it's going to be here. It's a single or dual cam. That's what I shoot. And my bow is actually a 71-pound draw. So you look here, from 67 to 72 pounds, and I shoot a 29. I think it's 29 and a half. So I think they recommend going up. So 29 inch is actually Group G here. Okay, so my arrow calls Group G is for a 3, and I shoot a Beeman ICS Hunter. So this would actually be the arrow that is called for my bow. I personally shoot the 1 group stiffer. It's right there on the borderline where I can shoot this little bit stiffer arrow, no problem. Accuracy, no problem. It's not going to hurt to shoot a little bit stiffer arrow anyways. You just can't go down. I would never want to drop down to Group F. Here would be the same arrow, but so say Group E. I would not want to drop down and shoot this underspined arrow because of the risk of it exploding, like I already talked about. But it's okay to shoot this upper one if you know you want to do that. And this is the actual arrow that I shoot here. I shoot a Beeman ICS Hunter 300. That's the arrow that I shoot right there. So safe, and you know, I don't have any problems. It's a little bit stiffer. It comes out of the bow retaining a little bit more of the energy because it doesn't have as much bow when it actually comes out of the bow. And then on impact, it doesn't bend as much, so it gets a little bit more penetration. Reason I shoot it, and plus it's just right there borderline. I'm right there on that line where I can shoot either one because I'm right here. Okay, and then the next, I mean, we're talking a couple pounds up. You know, 2 pound difference. You know, I'm right there on that line, so I choose to shoot that little bit stiffer arrow. You know, you just can't go down because it's very dangerous. So like I said in this video here, that's the best way to do it, to find what arrow. If you have any questions about it, find you a pro shop that knows what they're talking about, and they can test the weight of your bow, look and see what kind of cams you shoot, and they can recommend the right size spine arrow for you so that you can be safe and enjoy the sport of bow hunting if you're into bow hunting. And the person that asked the question, can't remember your name off the top of my head, but I appreciate it, and I thank you for asking the question. I figured it'd be better just to make this little video here and show you exactly how you can figure out what arrow you shoot. And like everyone else, just go to your arrow manufacturer that you prefer and look at their arrow selection chart. All of them is going to have one. And you can find exactly which one. Just make sure you're shooting a stiff enough arrow because it can cost you big time. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Check out deerhuntingschool.com for more tips, information, things like that on deer hunting. Have a good day, and bye-bye.